Hey guys, welcome to Founders Backyard. Here's your host Tanis Jaiswal. In this episode, we have here with us Olga Gurskaya, entrepreneur founder. She is the executive and leadership coach at CoachHub, which is the leading mentorship platform. And she has a vast experience of mentoring top entrepreneurs around the world. In this episode, she has shared all her wisdom and learnings that she had gained from past years. So do check the complete episode and don't miss out bits and pieces. So enjoy the episode. Thanks.
Hello, welcome to Founders Backyard. Today we have here with us Olga Gurskaya. She's all the way from Turkey and share your experience about Ghana.
Hello everyone, it is fantastic. I never could imagine such a place in the middle of India, because for me India looks a bit different. This is like paradise.
Oh, that's so amazing. And let's get started with your career. And you are a life coach, right? Share more about that.
From the beginning I will start.
Yeah.
I was born in Moscow and spent there first 40 years of my life. And I graduated as engineer in technical university, but never worked as an engineer. Started as assistant of finance director. And it was the first international hotel that was open in Russia in perestroika years. And back then, I got a dream. I decided that someday I want to become a CFO of international company as my boss at that time. And manage such a great team as we had that time, and allow myself to live in such beautiful hotels, eat in the restaurants. There was nothing at that time. There was no food in the shops, and this was a big dream. It took me 13 years to become CFO of Johnson & Johnson medical division, and then I got to Turkey, then I moved to Middle East, and I worked in different companies for 23 years.
Oh, that's so amazing.
And I think that during these years, I enjoyed my success a lot, but the most rewarding thing to see was how my team is developing, how people around me are developing, how company achieves results. And that was probably the driver of me becoming a coach. In 2015, I moved to Turkey and started my coaching journey, and then started organizational consultancy with Adizes Institute. And now I coach leaders, entrepreneurs, helping them to achieve their goals faster, lighter, brighter, dream big. And that's why Ghana is really impressive for me, because it is like an example of when you dream something, nothing is impossible.
That's so magnificent. So share some experience about a disease. You are part of it, and you are a country head of Turkey, right?
Yes. I don't know how much the one who listens us is aware about Adizes. So 50 years ago, Dr. Adizes, a management guru, created a methodology that helps companies to solve their problems by themselves in a very structural way and build the environment of trust and respect that we see here in Ghana. And Dr. Adizes created an institute, and I work in Turkey. I work with companies and help them to enlarge their successes, achieve their successes, start collaborating between each other, and solve problems.
That's so amazing. And apart from this, I want to tell you guys that Adizes Institute is the world leader in terms of coaching successful entrepreneurs, politicians around the world. And their clients are Bank of America and politicians like, just share, top politicians.
Dr. Adizes helped, as I am Russian, so he helped Dmitry Medvedev to when he was working as a president. He was helping government of Kazakhstan. He was helping government of Yugoslavia, and that's just few examples of politicians. And now he's providing consultancy still himself and works with Mexican government.
That's so amazing. So how do you help leaders identify and overcome challenges in their work environment?
If we take Adizes' work, then we first meet with a company leader. And everyone, you are a company leader, you have an idea what problems you are experiencing. And mainly for the startups, it is too much things to do. No sleep at night, 24 hours is not enough, and a lot of opportunities. So how to catch all those opportunities? Because everything is, amazing. This is what we are trying to identify first with the founder. And then we organize an organizational diagnosis, inviting the key people of the company to join us and do a session of 4 hours, one day, 4 hours, another day, to explore the problems. And at the end, the goal of this session, to structure the problems and identify which are the normal problems that will come and pass, and no need to tackle them, and abnormal problems that are very important to be solved. Because if we don't solve them, life will not be beautiful. And then we have a sequence in which those problems should be treated. That's how we work, and usually it takes a year. And within this year cycle, the company learns how to manage it in professional manner.
That's amazing.
And also I work as a coach with leaders, and I work individually. So because one thing is to help company to be healthy. Another thing is to help leader to feel powerful and capable. And as I have a lot of experience, a lot of education, coaching skills and mentoring skills, I apply all these instruments to help the leader to become the best leader for this company and feel successful. The most important instrument of a coach is ability to ask questions, because we believe that every one of us can solve their issues, can solve their problems. We just need to find the right question.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, because recently we attended Adizes CEO Forum conference, and Dr. Adizes also shared the same thing, that right question to the right people, and that's really an...
Yes. And this is what is coaching about, and this is what Adizes is helping with.
That's so nice. Could you provide some examples of how you help leaders improve their efficiency?
I will give you one example. I will talk about a leader who is the head of the department, and they are developing software. And he wants to grow further in his career. And he works with a lot of people as head of the department who is developing something with a lot of communication. And as technical person, not everyone who is technical is very good communicator. Because it doesn't come naturally. As a graduate of technical university, I experienced it since student years. So this fantastic gentleman identified that communication is really creates problems. And what I gave him as preparation, I recommended him to read the Dr. Adizes book, Ideal Manager. It's a very simple book and very interesting. And we did the test of what kind of style of the person he is. And he likes reading books, so he said, I never pay attention to styles of individuals when I communicate. I communicate straightforward, evenly to everyone. And of course, no one understands me because this communication is targeted only to the style of people who are similar to me. The others, they don't. So we worked on the improvement of his communication style, and he started to pay attention to what kind of person is in front of him. And communication improved. Then we went deeper, and this is like mental analysis. Another aspect which you know very well, Tanishk, is heart. And how to talk about hearts to very scientific gentlemen in the West. I said that emotional intelligence, as you read in Dr. Adizes' books, is a very important quality of any successful leader. He said, yes. So why don't we explore emotional intelligence deeper? And he learned that it consists of 4 parts. It consists understanding your emotions, management of your emotions, understanding emotions of others, and management of emotions of others, or influence. As he structured, this structured approach works very well for him. So he started to pay attention not only to style, but also to what other people feel. He found out that he feels something because he never experienced. And he said that, my communication changed completely. People are so engaged and they don't, and efficiency improved because there is no misunderstanding. Calls misunderstanding mostly, that we don't know exactly what needs to be done, and we don't express our, dissatisfaction with something properly. We become emotional. So, these were the problems that he described in the beginning. But not only that, Tanir. He said, my life changed. Suddenly it got completely different. It is lighter. So that's one example of improvement of efficiency. So it's not straightforward efficiency improvement example. But if you want about time management, then there are examples too.
Yeah, share something.
Okay, so there is a gentleman who wants to change his career and move from one country to another. And he's leading the company in...
Expand, basically.
Yeah. And another one is the United States. So he said that, I want to move to the States. And I am head of whatever department, company in this country, so I want to relocate. And I explored with him what are the ways how you can relocate, different ways. And then we explored what are the important steps that needs to be done for each of those ways. And then we analyze how much time he spends really on doing those steps. And what do you think? Not much, because he pays attention to what is important to the company, not his
Passion.
goal. And sometimes we do prioritize someone's interests ahead of ours. So he should continue work as as much as he used to, but also find time and energy to do what is important for him, because he needs networking, engagement in different projects, presenting himself and his company. So because this is the way. So he started to learn how to delegate more to other people.
Yeah.
And how to trust other people's
Capabilities.
credibility, and how to develop if someone is not capable. And in half a year, he is not relocated yet, but his team is blossoming.
Okay, so nice.
Because the team works with this delegation. They are more empowered, they are more engaged, they are more enthusiastic, and he has more time to achieve his goals.
Yeah.
And I think in startups, there is a lot of possibility to delegate. And it is, it is a matter of time what to prioritize, to quickly do it yourself or to teach someone, and then it will be, done forever.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we choose quick fix.
Yes.
And then things pile because business,
Expand.
thank God, knows that.
And startup is really exciting thing, right? Because around the world, startups are kind of building the whole paradigm of the world, like in terms of business and overall.
Yeah.
And right now, here in India, the startup culture is booming and it's massive and it's like crazy. So can you share some advice to young startup, what they should do? And right now there is a recession happening as well. So share regarding that as well.
I will have a few.
Sure, right. Sure.
Difficult to choose one. First, I think it is important to be really enthusiastic about the idea that you have. Because with passion, when we're really enthusiastic about something and we do what we love, create miracles, right? Secondly, it is important to have someone who supports you. It might be a partner in your startup, because you probably know better than me that majority of the most successful startups, they were in partnership.
Yeah.
And together, like a complementary team, it is much more sustainable way, because we hold our hands, we brainstorm on the ideas, we add some
Values, different concepts, for example.
these skills and everything. So it is, in Russia we have a proverb, one head is good, one brain is good, two brains are better.
So nice.
So partnership is important. It might not be a real partner, but some
Co-founders, right?
co-founders, it might be some organization that supports you, like incubator or something.
Or mentor, right?
Or mentor. So there is a partner. You don't feel alone. Then I think important is to have a strength, like willpower, because the dream differs from the goal. We can have a lot of dreams.
Yes.
And we might dream, but when it becomes a goal, we have willpower, determination to make it happen. So if there is a wind that blows in opposite direction, we still walk. And for that, we need willpower.
Yes.
We need discipline to make little steps
Day by day.
day by day. And that's probably it.
Okay.
Because if you really want something, if you love what you do, if you have people who is supporting you, and if you have willpower and you do steps every day,
You'll achieve your goal.
everything will happen. Everything will happen.
Yeah.
And in startups, of course, not all the ideas, they blossom, right? Because not everything is accepted by the board.
Yeah.
And we have to be ready for those situations and start something learning from this. So, because if you design one thing, it didn't properly work, you learn from mistake and
Evolve.
evolve.
Yeah, and the best thing about startup is like you can evolve really fast. But in massive big company, it's so tough. Like you have to convince all the different layers of the organization, and it's so tough to execute kind of a basic thing as well. But in startup, it's like a rapid thing.
You decided to implement.
Yeah, and so that I think that is the reason that startup move from like 1 million to 1 billion in a 2 or 5 years period. Yeah.
So there are inspiring stories, and who could imagine that this particular story will become a miracle? So just do.
Yeah. And what about the recession thing?
About the recession, we know a lot of stories of successes during crisis times. Some people, they see problems. Some others see opportunities. When, for example, international companies are moving out, the local ones are starting producing whatever is missing on the market. When purchasing power of people decreases, they don't stop eating, they don't stop consuming something, they don't stop their life. But desires are slightly different. So if you manage to find something that people might appreciate, there is always opportunity.
That's so nice.
And also, there are some innovations. For example, when I was working in Johnson & Johnson, the big American company, and I was working in medical division, and it is very high-tech, innovative products. And where they are coming from? Not from U.S. Research and Development Department. But Johnson & Johnson is buying patents from all around the world. So the inventors, they invent something. And then the big company improves it, but takes the idea. It means that if you have idea, just try to find ways.
Yes.
And not only in the local market, everywhere, because the globe now is really open for everyone.
And I also want to share, like, for example, this Johnson & Johnson baby company. So in recession, these massive companies like downscale and stuff.
Yeah.
But in recession, like young, small startups can really scale and build.
Definitely, this is exactly what I mean, because if people do not buy something expensive, they still need products for their babies. The babies are still there.
Yes.
Because no one stops, life is going on. So just see what might be needed. Listen, be open, ask people around. Observe.
Yeah. Like in COVID recession, mask, PPE kits, these kind of business were really expanding, and people were like making crazy money out of this here in India. Yeah, because we were like exporting around the world, PPE kit, masks, and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the China kind of people were not trusting Chinese products because of virus and everything. So as a country, we Indians like exported around the world, and apart from this PP kits and everything, vaccines as well. So yeah, so we saw opportunity and we make billions out of that.
Exactly. Exactly. So some people, they are in right time in right place.
Yeah,
It might be any one of us who has this entrepreneurial
mindset.
mindset. And there are incubators who is helping young entrepreneurs to develop their skills, right?
Yes.
For example, in Turkey, where I live, I work as a mentor for startup incubator and help entrepreneurs as a coach. And I'm sure here there are a lot of incubators too, and there are a lot of trainings which help to learn about professional approach to do business. Correct?
Yeah, we are also in type of different incubators, and we are providing these services as well.
Because it is important not only have idea, but structure your business properly, analyze what are the market needs, do some interviews, properly, do product development, then hiring the team, structuring your business. All this, of course, comes together with brilliant idea. When you are a young entrepreneur, you don't have any idea that this might be needed because you just created the product. But if you are lucky to join an incubator, they will explain you that these are the things that needs to be done. And it will smooth the process and make the movement faster.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like a kind of you get all sorts of crazy idea from them, and network that really helps. And apart from network, funding, access to right capital.
Yes.
Yeah. Share about something like right capital or funding. How should startup focus about funding? Like how they should approach funding?
I believe that when you have an idea, first you have to explore whether this idea is worthwhile and needed. And use as much as possible your limited resources for this stage.
Bootstrap.
Yeah. And when you see that this is something that really has potential, do just a little research, whatever. Then you can find investors through incubators or even your friends. Because business needs money.
Yes.
It needs to be financed. And there are incubators who is selecting their ideas based on the business cases, and they are providing financing in exchange of future shares in the company. It will eat a bit of future profits, but it will give great opportunity to start.
And share something about how the founder should hold equity, because right now the scenario is by the time the company is $5 or $10 billion, the founders just have maybe 10% or 20% of the whole kind of a pie equity structure. So how he should hold it, or he should like give it away? What should be the mindset to grow rapidly and without diluting equity?
Very good question, Tanish, because here there is really a dilemma. If you want to, I think important not only to engage capital from whoever, but also to have a little bit of finance knowledge. I'm from finance, so at least a little bit, so you understand how
all the nitty-gritty stuff
is done.
Yeah.
Yourself, so you can analyze and carefully manage the cash flow of your business. Because if you just happily receive, I don't know, $10,000, which is might be a very big amount for a startup, and then you start thinking, oh, I got a lot of money, so why don't I do this? Why don't I do that? And I will have enough for this. And then months passed and money is gone. And then you need another tranche of financing. So think twice before you spend, and spend really
Wisely.
Then it will give opportunity to grow the business with minimal resources and keep the control over the business. If you are spending wisely and you still need more financing, and this is the only way to grow the business rapidly because all is changing, so you don't need to be very slow in this changing. Then just, you get whatever possible, whatever is 20%, 30%, 40%. But I would definitely try to keep an eye on how you spend.
Yeah. And right now, not right now, but it's a case in the industry. Whoever is the founder, when the company grows, he got kicked out, like Apple, right? We were discussing that day in the CEO conference forum. So how to as a founder, or how to a core member, co-founder, leader who started the company in the initial, they should stick to the ground and they can't be moved from the company when the company expands rapidly, or maybe you got it right.
Tanishk, it's a very good question, and the ones who are really interested to get deeper and feel that this might be their problem, they might be reading a book of Dr. Adizes, How to Manage Corporate Life Cycle. And there is a transition from entrepreneurship, when you are the founder and you are in full power, to professional management, when you have a CEO and a board of directors and all these professional things. To make sure that you are on board, this transition should be done really wisely. I think you better read. You better read and pay attention to all the details that Dr. Adizes described there.
Okay. Can you share some kind of things for readers who are new to this, who are not aware about the book, or who are kind of short in few words?
In the beginning of our conversation, we discussed that, when business grows, you have too many things to do, and you cannot manage it yourself.
Yes.
But the founders, they rarely give control over important things to strangers. To feel good about giving control, first there should be a system developed that allows this control to be given. The system is a proper organizational structure with proper responsibilities. For example, if you will be sales department, everyone should know that you are the head of sales department, because in startups, the head of sales department usually does a lot of other things. So when business grows, the sales department head manages sales department. There is a list of responsibilities that he has authority to decide on certain things. And only with a few items he goes to the fund. The same with marketing, the same with finance, the same with HR, the same with production, development, whatever. So there is good structure and clarity of all the responsibilities. And then the founder can give these responsibilities little by little to trustable people, below him. And then it will be easy to manage for someone who comes.
Yeah.
Because it is, the company should be, it is easy to build a company that is run by genius, but how to build it so it is run by anyone.
Yeah. That's so nicely explained. Yeah. So share something about your journey as a coach.
It started in 2015 when I decided to move from Middle East back to Turkey because my husband is Turkish and we were living separately. Difficult. And I had a coach when I was moving with Johnson & Johnson from one country to another. And I met him once. And her name is Hillary Oliver. And I was thinking, what issue should I bring this time? Because I know that it will be solved. And when you're moving from one country to another, it is always a lot of challenges.
Yes.
Cultures are different. And Hillary, she asks questions, she says something, and then I feel that, I can do it. I can easily do it. This is how it needs to be done.
Yeah.
I thought, why do I learn this magic?
Oh.
I went to the United States to coaching school, Institute of Professional Excellence of Coaching, and learned the basics within 9 months. Came back to Turkey thinking that I will continue my corporate career, but got so engaged into
Different coaching.
in coaching that I started working with people from my network. So this is how you build your startup.
Yeah.
So you use your network, and because my coaching business is also a startup at that time.
Yeah.
And then I joined digital coaching platforms because there are marketplaces for coaches too. In BetterUp coaching platform, and one of the directors, Prince Charles.
Prince Charles.
Yes. So my colleague, we can say.
Literally Prince Charles.
Yes.
Oh, so amazing.
And this platform, I'm sure that Indian coaches are also there. And these platforms, the goal is to make coaching really accessible for everyone. So it started as corporate, and now it is moving to entrepreneurs. So it is getting there. And I started to work with teams, and now I also teach coaching to students in coaching academy for 4 years already. I never thought that I would be enjoying teaching, but I do.
Yeah, that's so nice. I've never heard that coaching is being taught in Coaching Institute. How to coach people is being taught.
It is special process that needs to be followed. And there should be special skills that needs to be developed. And it is a profession. It is a very young profession, and it started from tennis coaches.
Oh,
Timothy Govey, almost 30 years ago, Timothy Govey, almost 30 years ago, he wrote a book, and this started coaching. So all the approaches that sport coaches use, he transferred to life, and it was that. And now there is a lot of coaches, for example, in International Coaching Federation, which creates standards for coaches. There are more than 70,000 coaches in 130
countries.
countries.
Yeah. And what is energy leadership coaching? You're part of it, right?
This is a type of coaching that I learned in IPEC, and it helps people to elevate their positive energy and minimize their negative energy. And the energy here is not physical, force or power. It is combination of thoughts and emotions. For example, when you feel stressed, you have a lot of negative energy.
Yeah.
When you are meditating, you have a lot of positive energy. And when we maximize amount of positive energy in our life, life gets better and things are done much easier.
So could you share some of your experience, like guiding politician or top CEO from any major companies, coaching them?
And big agricultural company,
Okay.
and it is a head of the company based on Switzerland.
Well,
And it is related,
mhm.
and she is half Ukrainian and half Russian.
Oh,
And we had a session at the end of February when war between these two countries started.
oh.
And she came, she was crying,
Mm.
saying that, I am completely in pieces and I cannot put myself together. I can't work. But I know that I should. Everyone is respecting and, nicely taking care about me, but I have to lead and I can't. And imagine that you are a great leader. You are absolutely in perfect leadership shape. What would be possible for you to change for other people?
It's like a tougher situation. What to think?
She said for a minute, and then she said, Olga, I have so many things to do. Let's finish. I have to write to Ukrainian lady. I have to organize a HR meeting. I have to do this. So when we focus our attention inwards, we good people. There might be sadness, there might be suffering. But when we face our attention outwards, when we think about service to others, it helps to find grounds, energy, power, and leadership.
Yeah.
So that's how coaching works.
Heart has all the answers, right? Just tune in.
Yes. Yeah.
And how you deal in these kind of situation like stress and coaching all the top people around the world. It's like a tough thing for you, right? But how you deal with this mentally and emotionally and internally?
I would not say that it is tough, Ganesh. It is very, I love my job. It is very interesting. Every person you meet, it's like a universe.
Oh.
And the job of coach is to observe what's going on in this universe and not get involved, because maybe it's not the right comparison, but the surgeon never operates relatives unless there is an emergency, because you have to be a bit distant to see big picture. And the same is coach. You have to be a bit distant, as we are now, to see big picture and to show this big picture to the person who is working with you, and believe that they are completely capable of solve their problems. And also, I work with them not only as coach, but sometimes as a mentor, engaging my brain in resolving their issues. And this is very interesting questions. So also I maintain my resource, my physical shapes. I try to sleep well, meditate. This is why we are meeting in Canada, because it is important to, maintain yourself in good condition, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally.
That's so nice. By the way, how is your spiritual journey been so far?
What a question. I'm from USSR and religion was prohibited.
Oh,
So I'm from family of pioneers, communists, and in my childhood, we were never discussing religious topics. So there was no belief. So my journey started when I was already grown up in terms of religion, in terms of spirituality, because for me it is something bigger than believing in God. For me, it is about believing in God in the universe, believing in God in people, believing in God in myself. And so this is where I'm striving. And I do believe in these things already now, but I'm now trying to find in God, and meeting that, I think, is one of the steps in my journey.
wow, that's gone great. Yeah, it was a really lovely and a nice podcast with you. How you feel about it?
I feel really good talking to you, Tanishk, and if it will be helpful to the listeners, they will be finding something useful, I would be happy. I really feel good.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for inviting, and wish you a lot of success with podcast and with all great things that you are doing.
Pleasure. Bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.